9 News Plus weather, sponsored by Carrier Colorado. The future of home comfort is here.
Hey, thanks for joining us once again here on 9 News Plus for an update on our winter storm here across the Denver area and throughout Colorado. I'm 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi, and we've had those continuing updates throughout the day. Today we'll have another one for you now, and we'll have 9 News at noon as well. But the overall headlines, here's what we've seen so far today. Light snowfall for us. This is going to continue throughout the rest of today. Maybe an additional 1 to 3, 2 to 4 inches worth of snowfall on top of what we've already seen, yet to go. And the other maybe underrated story with all this is it's very, very cold out there. I'll show you those temperatures and those wind chills here in just a second. Snowfall totals so far. Genesee coming in with the winner, at least so far, 10.3 inches out there. Golden out by North Table Mountain, 7-8 inches so far. Lakewood, 7 inches. So on the west side of town, pretty good snowstorm with already 6.5, 7 inches in a lot of areas out there. Boulder, 6.5. So again, pretty decent snowstorms. You head west of I-25, along and east of 25. I can tell you, just looking outside here at our 9 News studios, we've probably got about 4 inches is what it looks like to me so far here in downtown Denver. At the airport as of 5 a.m., a half inch of snow so far, but that again, A, that's at the airport, and B, that was as of 5 a.m. I'm guessing they're probably at about 2 or 3 inches out there. Broadview HC Doppler radar showing the heaviest of the snow starting to shift into far eastern Colorado. Really east of Lime is where the heavy stuff is at this point. Highway 50, now a little bit maybe north of Highway 50, La Junta, on up by Burlington, Stratton. That's where the heavy snow is right now. Into the Denver area, that's where the lighter snow is at this point. But here's a closer look in at the, again, heavier snowfall. Highway 50 between Lamar and La Junta, as well as north there to Kit Carson, 287. That's where, again, we're looking at probably inch per hour snowfall rates out on the eastern plains. Into the Denver area, just not a lot in the way of heavy snowfall. This is mostly, again, this light, maybe at times moderate snowfall, but I'm looking outside right now. What I'd consider this would be maybe a quarter to a half inch per hour snowfall rates here in Denver at this hour. You head east of the airport, maybe a little bit heavier than that out by Bennett, Strasburg, maybe close to about a half inch per hour snowfall rates. You might notice those darker shades of kind of gray. That is showing us where we're seeing, again, slightly heavier snowfall. Downtown on west, for the most part, generally speaking, it's pretty light snowfall. And then the western slope, still seeing some of that snow, but that is coming to a close as we speak, and over the next couple of hours, that snow will gradually wind on down. Now that forecast, we head over the next couple of hours. Still will be heaviest from I-25 on east for us along the eastern part of the state. Again, we're starting to see that shift towards heavier snowfall east of Lyman, the eastern parts of Colorado. That trend will continue as we head through the next few hours, but it will still snow for us here in the Denver area. It's, again, just going to remain that light snow throughout the remainder of the day today. Then by about 7, 8, 9 o'clock tonight, and that's when the snow finally comes to a close with just a few leftover flakes for us come 9, 10 o'clock across the metro area. And then you get east of Lyman, and that's where the snow will continue after 9 p.m. But everybody snow-free by tomorrow morning. By the time you wake up tomorrow, most of us probably looking at sunny skies, but it will be that deceptive sunshine with pretty chilly conditions out our way. Forecast as we head over the next couple of hours, it does look to be, again, fairly snowy for many of us. Again, this is light snow, at times maybe moderate snowfall, nothing too crazy about what we're seeing. That snow will continue for the next few hours. That evening rush, by the way, does look to be pretty slick. Again, it's not going to be snowing all that heavily, but just enough that it will keep those roads slick, and even if the roads are plowed now or in the next couple of hours, there'll be enough snow out there that's going to kind of get refreshed. And so again, roads will remain slick throughout the remainder of your day today, even early tomorrow, just that leftover snow, some icy patches, things like that. But additional snow, maybe another inch or two on top of what we've already seen Some spots maybe 3-4 inches, but for the most part, I think we're looking at another 1 to 2, maybe 3 inches of additional accumulation on top of what you've already seen here across the metro area. So that's one big story, and it's the main one. It's the snowfall that we've seen. But this is the other story, how cold it is. It is really, really cold out there. And maybe this is getting a little overlooked because of how cold it was in late December, even last month. But right now, those actual air temperatures are mostly in the teens across the state. And then you factor in the wind. Wind chills in Denver have been below zero for 6 straight hours at the airport. Most of us on the Eastern Plains with sub-zero wind chills at this point into the high country, a lot of very chilly conditions as well. Now, walking you through hour by hour over the next few hours and through tonight and early tomorrow. Again, the sun does come back out, and those temperatures will spike up pretty nicely for a day tomorrow. Once, again, that sun does come back up, we'll be looking at sunshine, temperatures back into the 20s and 30s for a day tomorrow. 7-day forecast, temperatures get back into the 50s for us by the weekend and early next week. And we do have a chance for more snow early next week. I'll say this at this point, that does not look to be all that significant. So again, we do have more snow en route for us for Monday, Tuesday of next week, but it doesn't look to be a big snowstorm. By the way, I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but we are taking your questions as well. So any viewer questions that you got, feel free to tweet, social them at us here at 9 News. And just looking through some of my questions here, and again, one thing we're trying to do is avoid those questions about how much snow at my house and exactly how much snow in a specific place. So Sean does ask, when do you expect snow to taper off on the Palmer Divide? For our friends out there, I think this will probably start to wind down around 6-7 o'clock. Probably the accumulating snow done by then, but we'll still have some flakes around until maybe 9-10-11 o'clock or so tonight. So accumulating snow, again, the snow will start kind of piling up. It's just not going to be snowing hard enough come tonight for it to really stick. It's just still going to be flaking, but by 6-7 o'clock, really the sticking snow is done, and just a few leftover flakes continue for the next few hours after that. So there is one question. Still getting quite a few flight delay questions. I know it's been kind of hit or miss at the airport when I know that there are some airlines and some planes getting out. In fact, I've seen a few flights that have gotten out on time, which seems like a modern miracle to me. But the airport can certainly handle its snow. There's also been notably less snow at the airport compared to most of the rest of the metro area. So that's the good news. The thing to keep in mind at the airport is it's still pretty blustery, and that's keeping visibility down. In fact, I can pull up the visibility here for just 1 second. Visibility, you know, I often get these questions about snowfall and how it's impacting operations at the airport. This is what actually matters here, folks. When you're flying in or out of an airport, it's whether or not you can see as you're coming in or taking off. And visibility right now is under a mile at the airport. It's about 3/4 of a mile. It's been stuck there basically all morning long. That's mainly due to the wind. And then you factor in the wind, that limits your runway operations. Probably talking about maybe 2 runways being used right now, maybe down a single runway ops at the airport. Point being, I would expect delays continuing throughout the day there, and a little bit of a insider trick or a way to kind of make sure that you know how to check about your flights. Check where your inbound flight's coming from. If, for example, you got a flight at 6 o'clock today and it's coming from San Diego and that flight's coming from Dallas or Miami or somewhere where there's not a lot of weather, you might end up being okay. But if your flight is going Denver to Chicago, back to Denver, back to things like that, if it involves Denver, which it often does, yeah, that's when you're going to be looking at those issues, because those delays kind of pile back up. So think about a traffic jam where, you know, one car stops, things kind of pile on up. So point being, check where your inbound flight is coming from and check if there's weather going on there rather than what's going on out here right now. Planes are getting out, planes are coming in, but the bigger determining factor as to whether or not you'll be delayed or canceled is where your plane is coming from. So just keep that in mind in terms of those operations out at the airport. But right now it does look like there's a lot of delays, not a ton of cancellations. So overall, good-ish news, as good as can be, but tomorrow things should be basically okay at the airport. And that pretty much does it for our questions here. Thanks for sending those in, and thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus. We'll have continued updates throughout the rest of your day today. Meteorologist Lauren Robinson will have an update for you at 9 News at noon, and then also have another update at 9 News at 2 o'clock. We'll have, again, more updates throughout the day as needed here on 9 News Plus. And also Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin's in at 4 and 5, Meteorologist Danielle Grant in at 6, 9, and 10. So we got our whole team tracking this winter storm for you. But thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus, and have a great rest of your Wednesday.